Hello,
Hello! Welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 153. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les, and it's April 15th. It's a Monday. We're recording a day late because I was traveling yesterday and then was lazy and tired. Didn't feel like recording, which happens. So,
Well, you were gone for a week for work, so that makes a
I,
difference.
yes, and it was in lovely Cleveland, Ohio, exotic as it is. So, not that I got to see most of it. I spent the whole time in a, you know,
Control
room with
center.
30 other people working, but anyhow, we don't really jabber at the beginning. So, works in progress. What you got?
I am working on the antler the antler sweater.
I thought that was a sweater.
Silly me. It is the antler cardigan. It looks like, I'm so disorganized. Hold on. No, that's Instagram. That's totally not what that looks like. It looks like this, and it comes in a wide variety of sizes.
And this is a tin can knits
It
pattern,
is a
right?
tin can. This is the free tin cans knit because tin can knits. It's not free now, but around Christmas time they did a free pattern. You can pick out any of their patterns for free. So this
Mhm.
is the one that I had selected. I am doing the size 43. And it actually ranges from 18, which is 0 to 6 month size, all the way up to 59. So incredible sizes.
Great.
And I am knitting it out of Mad Tosh Vintage. I'm in the middle of the row. In the Rainwater colorway. I just got
I love
through
that.
the first two balls because I'm alternating skeins. So I just finished those, and I also finished the waist shaping. I'm around 13 inches in. And
Nice.
actually, the pattern calls for you to start with the sleeves. And I did start with the sleeves, and I am horrible at alternating skeins on sleeves. Like, I forget to tuck them in. It's actually knitting in the round in general, but when I'm knitting and it's one by one ribbing and trying to remember to tuck that second skein in, I always forget. And then I have a nice little loop, loop, loop. So I
Yeah.
ripped it all out. And what I'm going to do is I am going to knit the actual ribbing in one color and then start alternating after that. Because my skeins are vastly different colors. Let me pull them out. I got them from two dye lots, both from the Loopy U, but I caught like 4 in one update and 3 on the other. And they are a
Yeah.
bit
One.
different. So it's
Yeah.
good to alternate. I like actually this one's got a little bit more blue and light gray, and that's got the dark gray. So when I'm actually knitting them up, it's giving a nice mottled effect. There's my ends, which have not been woven in. So I'm quite happy with the yarn so far, and I'm super excited to be getting this far. So we'll see. The goal is 2 weeks. I started this on Saturday.
You're trying to finish a sweater in 2 weeks.
Yes. It's on size 8 needles. 6 is an 8. 6 is for the ribbing, 8's for the
Uh
body of
huh.
the sweater. And I'm using a new to me needle. I got a set of the Addy lace clicks this weekend. So I'm using the size 8 on that right now. And they are nice and lightweight. So,
Okay. Can we pause here for a second? And I have to ask you why you continually put deadlines on yourself.
because I got stuff to do. Because what's
Uh
in three
huh.
weeks? 3 weeks is Maryland sheep and wool.
Uh huh.
And I don't need the sweater for Maryland sheep and wool because it's going to be hot. But I want it done before then. Because I'm trying to get some sweaters worth of yarn out of the stash and knit up.
So that you can buy more.
No, so that I have space in the stash to actually fit the stash in the cubbies that it's supposed to contain instead of all over the house.
I just you put so many deadlines on yourself.
Yeah,
It would
that's
drive
okay.
me bananas.
That's the only way I get stuff done.
To each their own.
It
Whatever.
is.
Is that it? Is that all you're working on?
No, I'm working on Quaker Ridge Shawlette. I had started doing the beaded bind off, And then my allergies were really bad, so I'm using the dental floss method. So there's some beads on dental floss. And my allergies were so bad, it looked like I had been smoking pot this past week. Like my eyes were super red, and I was having to adjust my, you know how you can do the Control Plus to make your, I'm doing it right now with my pinky, to make your screen bigger. So I had to do that like once at work to make, it's really awesome. It's cutting down on my eye strain a lot, but the beads were beyond my ability. So the beaded bind off is looking like that, and I have that ruffle. So I got from that whole ruffle done and this done, so from like here on. And the beaded bind off is slow going. It's over around 500 stitches, and I have 50 of them done.
It's gonna take a minute.
It's gonna take a little bit, and that the 50 were done at my local like group of get-togethers. Wednesday night, I have a group of people who get together, so it was at a restaurant too. So, and that was like an hour to get 50 done. So we're talking like 10 hours for bind off. I don't know who created this awful bind off.
She was a sadist.
And this is the Quaker Ridge Chalet by Susan B. Anderson. It is gorgeous. It is huge.
It is hand spun, right?
And it is hand spun. Yep, and it is going to my grandmother for her birthday eventually. Her birthday is this week, but it's going to be a little bit late. So I hope so. But that's it for me on the needles. I didn't touch the socks, any pairs of socks this week.
It's a nice mug you got there.
Thank you. I got that at Maryland last year. That's my Jenny the Potter mug. I came home and took a 10-minute power nap and needed a little bit of caffeine. So.
Yeah, last Maryland Sheep and Wool, you and Jess and somebody else went straight to Jenny the Potter, and Diane and I went to Spanish Peacock. We walked past it several times because there was no sign. And you were done before we even got to the front of the thing, I think.
And then we came and met you. It was fun. But I have three Jenny the Potter mugs right now, so I'm okay with 3. It's a good number.
It is.
So.
I think for the first time in a while, I've got more work on the needles than you do.
It's like not that you have more on the needles. It's that you have more that you're working on.
Active, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Laura said, I was out of town this past week, and I didn't get as much knitting done as I thought. That's always the way when you pack. Like I was concerned about being away from my stash for a week and a half and nowhere near a yarn shop. Like normally if I'm on vacation or whatever, I can always stop at a yarn shop if I run out of stuff, but that wasn't an option for this trip. So I packed way more than I needed. And
hey,
the show has shown his little puppy face. All right, you can sit up here if you want. Come on. Anyhow, so I packed a bunch of stuff and I ended up working on different things at different times. This I didn't take because I didn't want to run out of yarn on it. Anyway, long story. I didn't take this, but I'm working on it now. This is my Unwind Yarn Company in the Stop and Smell the Poppies colorway in the Twinkle.
Pretty.
Is it Twinkle Sock, I think?
Yep.
That's what the base is called. And I have a second skein. This is going to be a big square Shetland style shawl.
Cool.
And it's going to have color work on the outside. And I'm not certain. I think it's going to have something to do with garter rose. And these are going to be the alternating colors. So it's going to be, oh, you can't see that one. The orange with the gold and the blue.
Love it.
So I'm super stoked about it. And this is Unwind as well. And it's all the Twinkle Sock. And I'm super stoked because I'm having such a good time knitting this. And it's on my size 6, 4.0 millimeter needles. And it's so simple that this is probably what I'll work on now because I'm home. So that's the first thing. The second thing is this simple hat. I started this in the car service on the way home yesterday because I had just finished something. And so I have this ball of yarn and these needles and an hour rod. So I did a tubular cast on and
Wow.
knit, I don't know, an inch and a half, something like that, in this Madeline Tosh DK that Mel gave me. It was a leftover from one of her projects. I don't know how much is in here. I didn't weigh it before I started. I just figured I'll knit until I'm getting close to running out and then decrease, and whoever it fits, it fits.
There you go.
So, and this is on size 5. Yes, size 5 needles, and I just have it, it's 16 inches altogether around. And it's nice and easy. I just did about an inch and a half of ribbing, and I'll probably start doing stockinette now. I'd like for it to be big, drapey, slouchy, but I don't think I have enough for that, so we'll see.
You could always add some stripes if you wanted.
I could, but the point is to get rid of that yarn, so we'll see. And then my last project is for my friend Beth, who is having a baby, and I'm stoked. And, ooh, that's not what I needed. And that's in my Tangerine Designs Jolly Pigs bag, and I'm using the Emerald Darkness colorway of Dreamin' Color Smooshy with Cashmere.
Pretty.
It's a beautiful green, and I love it lots. And I'm knitting the baby pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's spelled M-A-I-L-E, male, I think.
It's also in a book.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's in her book. It's in both places.
Well, it's free on Rav, although it does not have any sizing options. It only comes in the 3-month size. But, I mean, you can alternate needle size and gauge and all that and go up if you wanted, but you would have to make those modifications yourself. So I'm just knitting it as written because she's not far along, and she's waiting to find out the sex of the baby as well. So I just figured green is a nice neutral. It's pretty. So, and I just started it last night, and it is about 3.5 inches maybe.
It's looking good.
Although I have read that the sleeves are done in a really weird way, and people kind of complained about that. I mean, it's a free pattern, so you can only complain so much, but people kind of complained about it. So we'll see once I get to that point, but I'm not there.
I wonder if the pattern differs from the book, because it was in a book that I reviewed a couple months ago. I can't remember it.
Look that up for me.
But anyway, I can't remember the title. I wonder if it's different in the book versus the free pattern. I'll have to look up for you.
But anyway, I am really enjoying this yarn. It's a beautiful color. And I'm knitting, because it's mainly stockinette, I'm knitting and then purling backwards so that I can keep my gauge consistent. Not that a baby is going to criticize my gauge, but you know. Anyway, those are my works in progress. I feel like I've been talking for an hour. It's your turn.
I have finished nothing, but I blocked correctly. I wet blocked my atelier, and it looks awesome. I'm going to show y'all. I did a little dance for Leslie earlier.
She did do a little dance for me.
It looks like
swings.
That. It's got a lot of swing to it. It's got a volumized DK. It's got shaping, waist shaping just in the back. And I love it. I'm so happy with it. So, and in fact, Wheezy, I walked downstairs earlier because it was just blocking. It just dried. I wanted to wear it for y'all. And Wheezy looked at it and he goes, "Did you knit that?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "It looks really, really good. Like you could have bought it." So I didn't tell him how much the yarn was and the volumized DK for it. But I'm very, very happy with this project. If it wasn't going to be like 90 when I'm in San Antonio this weekend, I would totally rock the crap out of this. But anyway, that's my finished object.
I'm thrilled that you are so happy with it and that it swings and it's shaped nicely. And yes, I had a friend who was on this work trip with me, or coworker, I guess, who, observed me knitting and said, "I've always wanted to learn that. I figure, it'd be a lot easier and cheaper to just make the stuff myself." And I was like, "You're so funny." So it's not.
But as a process knitter, it is just so much fun.
I mean, it's not just the finished object. It's the time you put into it. It's the relationships that you develop while you're picking it out and knitting it with other people, and it's the whole thing. So yeah. Anyway, I have 2 finished objects.
Look
so I
at
have more
you
work
go.
in project on the needles, and I have finished objects. So this is like, I won't make that reference that I was going to make because I would offend so many people. But anyway.
It's like Wonderland for you.
There you go. I finished the socks for Tammy. I had finished this one, and I was here. I just finished the cuff, and I hadn't started the heel flap. That is my least favorite part of a top-down sock. I actually
Love
hate the heel flap more
flaps.
than the gusset. But once I got that done, it flew. Less than 24 hours later, it was done. So it was just that one part. But these are for Tammy, and they'll go in the mail this week. I wanted to show them first. And these are out of Numma Numma Doppio in the sea turtle colorway. So they have a cashmere content to them. Really nice.
They look awesome. She is going to love them.
And I hope she has a narrow foot because holy crap, it stretches a lot, but still, my big old fat foot couldn't fit into it. So, but I have an exceedingly wide ankle. And the second finished object is my water course. And
Yay!
I don't know if Amy Beth is finished. She wasn't finished when I finished it. That's all I know. I know I finished first.
That is Amy Beth of the Fat Squirrel Speaks.
Yes, but she also has like 3 other sweaters on the needle. But that doesn't count because I won.
She also like dyes yarn, sews project bags, well, you both have kids, but
yeah. So this is, it has not been blocked, so I'm not going to put it on. I'm going to block it this week, and then I'll actually stand up and show y'all next week. But this is the water course, and it has nice pockets in the front. See if I can show that to you guys.
Love the pocket detailing.
And they're sewn down nice and tight. And it's got a little waist gathering in the back.
Super cute.
Short row shaping on the hood. So I'm happy with it, and I wore it. I finished it, I want to say Saturday night, and then wore it on Sunday on the way home. Even though it hadn't been blocked because it was done, and I wanted to wear it, and that was all that needed to be said.
That's like me with this sweater at New York City. It was done. It had to be worn.
It's heavy though. Holy moly, this is a heavy sweater. I have a feeling it's going to grow.
So how many skeins did you use? 7?
Why you got to call me fat, Laura? Yes,
I'm using 7 on my sweater that I'm knitting right now. Slow your roll, dude.
Of Madeline Tosh Tart in the vintage, which is the worsted weight.
Your sweater has a freaking hood too.
It's huge, y'all, but I'm kind of huge too, so it's okay. It fits, and that's what counts.
Whatever.
At least it fits now. I haven't blocked it yet, so we'll see.
Whatever. It's gonna end up at your knees.
The only thing that I would mention about this is I love the I-cord detail that's everywhere on the edging of the cardigan.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I would mention is if you're concerned about the sleeve being tight, and it's fine for me, and I have big arms, so it would probably be fine for anybody, but just in case, you might want to go up a needle size or 2 on the I-cord edging because you do that last, so that it's a little more stretchy, or a little bigger, not necessarily more stretchy. It fits me fine, so it'd be a small percentage of people that would need the help, but anyway, I'm done with it, except blocking, which will happen this week, so yay, I'm done with that, and Neelix's back, although you can't see him. There he is. Good boy.
He just came to lick the cleavage.
Yeah, well, it's covered today, see?
But, I like how that had to be explained.
I have no spinning, but you do, right?
I do. I've been spinning some Hello yarn in the Overfront colorway. It was a club fiber from June 2011. I've never been in her club, but I am lucky with these stashes. And it looks like this. It's kind of like an Easter egg with brown. It's very happy and cheery. And I'm spinning it on the mini spinner as I watch The Voice in the afternoons or evenings. And it looks like that.
Very thin.
It is fairly thin. It's probably going to be a fingering DK single. I think it'd be a pretty shawl or hat.
Yeah.
So, yay.
Very pretty.
So that is what I'm spinning. I am halfway through that. I'm going to I'm torn between taking this and, because it is big, pretty big stretches of color, I think I am going to fractal spin it. Because the brown's like real big stretches of the brown. You see that? So.
Is it just going to be 2-ply?
Yes. It's 2-ply. It's like what 90% of my stuff is. And it's just a plain merino. It's not superwash.
Yeah.
So it'd be a very cute baby sweater, but I would have to give it to a knitter mama.
Right.
So, and that's fine. I know some people, like our friend Lish. I should totally, she's having a baby boy though.
Yeah. Don't be a jerk.
Nick might kill me. And she is a toddler too, so that probably won't work. But a couple of my knitting friends are pregnant, so that's always a consideration.
Yeah.
Speaking of pregnant knitter friends, we have a book to review that is all about babies.
So I came home and had 4 books waiting for review, so this is one of them. And this is 60 Quick Baby Blankets, and it's put out by the makers of Cascade Yarn.
It's one of a series, and they also have like a baby accessories book / sweaters book. They have, was it a hats book? They've done a couple in this series.
Accessories like hats and gloves, I think, was one of them. And
this is retails for $17.95, and it's put out by Sixth and Spring Books. It has a ton of baby blankets, and obviously from the title, and they're all made out of Cascade 220 Superwash or 128 Superwash.
Which is their bulky.
Yep. That's what I finished that vest out of before.
Yeah. So I will say that this book actually surprised me with the number of patterns that I could see myself knitting. I am not a blanket knitter, despite what this huge thing on the sofa says behind me. When my friend Beth told me that she was pregnant, I was like, I'm not knitting you a blanket. It's not going to happen. Because that's what people associate with baby knitting is blankets, right? It's a very traditional gift. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I just don't particularly enjoy knitting them, but a couple of these have me kind of really wanting to.
So obviously from the title, there's 60 of them. There's actually 61 patterns in the book. That cute little lamb off the cover is a design by Susan B. Anderson, and that's the last pattern in the book.
How many of you could tell that by looking at it?
It's super cute.
It's very Susan, and I love that. So, yes, so there are, I think it's a great way that Cascade shows off their color range, because it's not a redundant book. Like, there's a ton of different color schemes in here. So we'll just start going through the ones that we like. This one may be my favorite one in the whole book, and it's the second one.
Yes, this one.
Yes.
Love it.
And it's called Graphically Gray, and it's very similar to the Jaywalker sort of stitch pattern,
that
but
chevron.
It does have some tweaks, and it's got that really cool pop of orange on the outside. I would have never thought to do that, but it's so cool.
I love this for a baby, for someone who doesn't know what sex they're having. This is perfect, and you could even change that orange to a green if you wanted, or a lemon yellow. Very, very cute blanket. I also wanted to bring up in this book, the styling of the book I think is very well done. Case in point, this monster sweater by Susan B. Anderson, or sweater. I cannot call things what they are today. What is wrong with me? I need like flashcards. All right, this monster blanket has all it's done by Susan B. Anderson, but it has all the Rebecca Danger little monsters, and that's just the perfect example of how the styling in this book really creates the feel of like, you can look at a blanket in this book and think, that is the kind of nursery I want. I want those accessories. I want it to look like this. It's just the perfect mashup of those elements.
I really liked this one. I didn't particularly care for the colors that they chose, but this one is very reminiscent of a quilting block. And it's very easy. I've read through the pattern, and it's like 3 paragraphs long. It's a very easy pattern, and in different colors, I would be all over that. But I really like just taking ideas that are a little bit out of the box for knitting. I don't know, I like that. It's cool.
I like the My Fair Baby by Brenda Castile. I like it because it's got just that touch of Fair Owl at the bottom, and I would probably do it again at the top, but the in-between stripes. So it's that cute Fair Owl little bit without the effort of doing an entire Fair Owl blanket flat.
And so in that same vein, there's the gorgeous gingham, which is, it's Fair Owl, but in the very simplest sense. And I just think that that's really clever. I like that a lot.
Number 11 is Baby Makes 3, and I just love that stitch pattern.
Yeah,
it's just,
and that's the same blanket. It's just in bold stripes. It's
just love that. Yeah, or you could do it all in a single color. It would be really, really pretty.
This one is, it's not typically me, but I really like it. It's called Sunny Bunnies by Linda.
I like that one too.
And it's got just enough detail, just a tiny little bit of detail with those little bunnies. And there's, I don't know, 8 of them all together. That's so cute. I love it. It's got like the bunnies,
the little cables,
so it's something for the baby to like texturally touch. I love that.
I also like the variety of techniques that this book uses, whether it be entrelac, Fair Owl, cables. There's a little slip stitches, but this Zig and Zag, it's got purple, so you know it's going to be my favorite. But it's picked up, the strips are picked up as you go along.
Yes.
So I think that's very cool.
Seeing the strips together, the long strips.
And they kind of like remind me of like giant knit stitches.
Yeah, it's a chevron sort of feel to it, but I like it a lot. I mean, I like this one is a little bit more sort of modern, and I guess that's fitting because it's called Modern Art. It's designed by Holly Yeo, but it's very simple, but you know, retro at the same time. I dig it. I think it's great.
And going along with the Intarsia, this whale, which is called Baby Beluga. And if you grew up with my generation, the Baby Beluga song by Raffi is one of my absolute favorites. But the whale is actually done in stockinette, and the rest of the blanket is done in garter. Absolute. Like, I would do Intarsia just so I could do this. And I am not a fan of Intarsia.
That is a very cute design. I also really like, this is probably the simplest one in the book. It's called Stripe It Rich by Renee Lorion.
I have that one tagged too.
For
leftovers.
Look how cool that is.
But like using up leftovers of 220, because how many of us have leftovers of 220 in the stash? I have tons. That would be perfect. I like the hip to be square.
You can turn it into a game with the, you know, when the baby's a little older. Show me the red. Show me the blue. You know?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
This is more of a log cabin, but that is I just think so much fun because it would go so fast. And that's hip to be square, and you join those as you go.
And that's similar to some quilting patterns I've seen as well, but the opportunities are pretty endless. This one isn't particularly my style, but it's very cute. It's called The Googly Eyed Gator by Ashley Rayo. And again, that's a lot of texture for baby, but that's really cute.
Yep.
I don't know. I love it.
And this just shows you what you can do with 2 different colors. This pattern takes less than half a page. It's just super cute. And that is the pumpkin patch. It's just a garter rib blanket. Super easy, but in the 2 colors striped the way it is, looks much harder than what it really is.
Yeah, and you know, there's a ton of patterns in here. We're not showing you every one of them. This is completely worth the money. I like this one a lot. This one's called Picture Perfect Plaid. And I especially like the clever way that they add these vertical stripes, which you'll have to get the book to figure it out. Well, you may not, but I don't know. I just have a thing for plaid, I think. But this
I like it. It's very cute.
And it's by Teresa Shabs. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong.
Y'all know I'm a sucker for log cabins. So there's another log cabin in the Fetching Fibonacci. But I love those colors for a baby that you don't know the sex of.
I think this one would also be good for non-gender specific. It's called Counting Sheep by Jacqueline Van Dillen, and it is highly textured. So you got like the big loops for the sheep's body, and I can't even tell you how the legs are done because I haven't read this particular pattern, but it's very cute and very gender neutral. And this is another one that's just like the first one. It just really grabs you, and it's Pinstripe Perfection by Ruthie Nussbaum. And it's very simple stripes with a very striking edge color to set it off.
There's a lot of I-cord edges throughout this, which is very, very cool. Silver and gold is another one that could be very gender neutral. Love that.
There are also a couple of bunting patterns in here, which I've never knit, so I can't speak to them. But this one is called Bundled Up by Lori Steinberg, and there's another one in here as well. But it's traditional bunting. Let's see.
Well, I like the Heavenly Heathers because it shows what you can do with color.
Yes. That is one of the ones that I really liked as well in this. Because you're just mixing that gray with each one of those colors, and it's blending, and it's really nice. And again, I mean, we probably showed you a third of the patterns because that's how many that we really liked in this book. So I would say if you do a fair amount of baby knitting, this is totally worth it. And it's 60 quick baby blankets, and it's put out by Sixth and Spring. We want to thank them for sending this to us for review. And just as a reminder, everything in here is knit in worsted or heavier, so we go super fast.
Very, very
quick.
So
if you knit for babies a lot, check out this book.
And favorite things, I'm going on a trip this weekend.
You are, and you're going to get to meet some folks, and you're going to go to a conference and do important stuff.
I'm going to the International Reading Association conference, so if you're going, drop me a line, we can meet up. I am super excited. Today was the first day that I really sat down and started planning like what I'm doing when. And my kids are actually, the 7th grade right now is reading a book by Sharon Flake, and she's there signing books. And the 8th grade's reading a book by Walter Dean Myers called Monster, and he's signing books. And they're like, I'm going to try to get my picture with both of them so I can show the kids. And the kids are super excited. They're like, can you ask them? And I'm like, no. They're going to be like, sign a book, move on. I might get a photo. Yeah. And they're like, but it would be, you should tell them that they should come to our school for free. And I'm like, I will be happy to tell them that, since they get like $4,000 to $5,000 a speaking engagement.
Yeah.
But I'm super. Rick Riordan, the author of the Lightning Thief books, is one of the guest speakers. The guy from Reading Rainbow is going to be there.
Oh, is that Lamar? I love that guy. He's from Star Trek. He's George George. I love him. And then Mo Willems, who writes the Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus books, and Amanda and Her Alligator. I'm going to buy Amanda and Her Alligator and get it signed, because Julia is deathly afraid of crocodigators. So I'm going to get her that book. But I'm I'm super excited. Like, I'm planning what seminars I go to around when the book signings are. And Henry Winkler will not be there this year, so I can't run into him again and almost get arrested. Let's see. That's going to be fun for you. I know that you had a really good time.
So excited.
And you're going to meet the Mustache Girl.
I am. And we're going to go to a fiber festival.
Oh, God. How convenient.
Actually, I didn't know when I was planning the trip that there was a fiber festival 45 minutes away. But there is.
What is it?
I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Oh.
But Chris and Denise of Lost City Knits will be there. Alicia Goes Around will be there.
Oh.
Lots of people.
I have some Alicia Goes Around right here. Not precious.
Pretty. I'm going to resist another sweater's worth. But I'll try to get them to buy a sweater's worth.
What else?
I got some stuff in the mail.
Oh, I got some too. You go first.
Okay. I got my April club from Dripping Fiber Studios. It is called Knitting Hill. You had the option of doing 3 romance, like 1 of 3 romance films. There's like Knitting Hill, Sheepless in Seattle, and something else. They look like that up close. They're very pretty spring. I didn't even look at the colors. I just picked Knitting Hill blindly, and I'm so happy with her. Her bats always spin so well. They're a joy. And I always get the heavy sparkle, which for her is like what other people would consider light sparkle.
Yeah.
Like a piece of sparkle, I think, is her light sparkle. But that's okay, because I like the heavy sparkle.
Snob, Laura.
I am. It's like I'm a fairy.
The episode title right there. Sparkle Snob.
Score. So that was the first thing that I got. What did you get?
I got my Trifecta of Awesome Club
Fun.
Or fiber. I'm sorry. I also got my special order that I placed with Heather of Highland Handmaids.
Oh,
but
neat.
It's upstairs. I'm going to wait until I've taken my Amy Herzog class, which I'll talk about in a minute, so that I don't feel like I'm wasting the yarn. I want it to be on a sweater that's going to fit. But anyhow, this is the first shipment in the Trifecta of Awesome fourth round, I think, and I chose fiber. And so their theme this round is Geek Squee. And the first round was basically to take inspiration from a female character in science fiction that you admire. And
is it Firefly?
Heather couldn't pick one.
Okay.
So she picked 4.
Oh.
And the colorway is called Grit because the people or the characters that she modeled them after show grit. I don't know all of them. The first one is the aqua blue, and this represents Delenn in Babylon 5. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Zoe, the dark
That's Firefly.
Brown, that is Firefly, yes. So that one's more here.
Uh-huh.
The Lilu, that is Fifth Element.
Okay.
You know, the bright, she was, what was her character? What was her name? I forgot.
Was it Lilu?
I'm thinking of the actress from it. She's got a really unusual name, and I can't remember it now. And Ripley, and that's the white, because Ripley is an alien.
Okay.
The movie Alien, Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, okay.
So she's the white, I guess, of her pajamas, she says. It's been a long time since I've seen
I haven't seen Alien in a long time.
An alien pops out of somebody's stomach, and so I'm like, oh, that's enough for me.
And done.
So this is the Pitch Pine top, which is 60% merino, 40% bamboo, and it's super soft.
Cool.
And it's got tons of great colors in it. So
that'll be
my
fun.
First shipment. And then I've still got Keegan Lane and Fiber Nymph to go.
Super fun.
So aside from my unwind, which I showed you guys in the cerulean and the gold colorway. I don't remember what the gold was named. That's all I got in the mail this week. Well, that's not all, but that's all the knitting related stuff I got in the mail this week.
I got a bag and some yarn from Amy Beth of Fat Squirrel Speaks Fibers.
Fat Squirrel Fibers.
Yeah. Her squirrels can't speak when they're on fiber. It makes me sad.
Not. They're mute squirrels. Ooh, that is orange.
Yes. So
she used that for her orange along.
Apparently. So I'm like ridiculous, and I didn't know like what names went with what colors. So I just picked one, which is that bead in my ear, and it happened to be orange. Which is cool, and I love orange, but it's a very nice orange. If I had to pick an orange, this would be my favorite of the oranges. So I really, really like it, and it'll be awesome, and I'm totally going to do, I think, a sock pattern out of it. It is 75% superwash BFL, 25% nylon. It's got a twist to it that reminds me of kind of like the Volmiza DK, a little bit, that tight twist. It's not that many plies. I would say it's probably a 4-ply, 3 or 4-ply. It's really, really nice and just really cool. I like BFL. BFL isn't the softest of the yarns, the fibers.
But it's sturdier than merino.
But it's very sturdy. So that's why I'm thinking it's definitely going to be a pair of socks. and she sent it in this awesome bag. This was a belated birthday present. So, and it came with a little lavender sachet as well.
Fancy. I didn't get one of those.
Well, she loves me more than you. What can I say?
There is that. Even though she's my internet wife, she's cheating on me with my best friend. It's like an episode of Jerry Springer.
And then something else that I got in the mail today. So John Klassen is an illustrator and author. He illustrated Extra Yarn, and then he wrote the Fish Hat book and the I Want My Hat Back. So obviously I saw his name on this, and then I saw Lemony Snicket's name, and Lemony Snicket cracks me up that is not his real name. His real name, the author's name, is Daniel Handler, and he's got this whole Lemony Snicket persona, which is hilarious. So I knew when I saw the two of them together that this book was coming home with me. So I ordered it off of Amazon. It retails for $16.95. And Laszlo is afraid of the dark. But the dark is not afraid of Laszlo. Laszlo lives in a house. The dark lives in the basement. One night, the dark comes upstairs to Laszlo's room, and Laszlo goes down to the basement. This is the story of how Laszlo stops being afraid of the dark. So it is super cute. I love the illustrations, obviously. The light work in the illustrations are amazing, but also the story is hilarious. But he says, "Hi, dark," to try to keep the dark in the basement, to be friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then one night, his nightlight goes out. And the dark comes out of the basement and speaks to him. Lemony Snicket does the best personification of inanimate objects of any author I know. Like, he did a book called One Lump of Coal, or A Lump of Coal, where this coal, it's a Christmas story. It's hilarious. But the way he writes this book is wonderful. If you have a child that's afraid of the dark, I strongly recommend this. It's really, really good. It's a picture book, so the ages on it obviously are younger. Probably, like, read aloud, 2 to 6. But the illustrations are great. It's Lemony Snicket wrote Series of Unfortunate Events. It's just, he is hilarious, and the combination of the two of them is just book perfection in my mind. So, yeah, anyway.
I'm glad that it made your little librarian heart happy.
Look, I bought this book it's not going to anywhere else. This is my book. I bought a picture book for me, and that's fun. But
you're a grown woman. You can do
I do what I want. You're not the boss of me.
I'm not.
So that's it for me. For the most part.
We have a contest for next week.
We do.
We want to talk about real quick, and then we're going to draw this week's winners.
And you have to talk about your Amy Herzog class, too.
Oh, yes. So, last week we reviewed this book, Fit to Flatter. And we told you how very much in love with it we are and how we will never part with them. And I don't know if I said it or not before, but I signed up for a class with her on the 27th of April. And it's in D.C., Washington, D.C., at Fiberspace, which is a wonderful yarn shop. And I'm so excited I get to go back and see a friend of mine who works there and just, hang out. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
And I get to meet Amy Herzog and take her class. Yay!
I know.
And I had already, I had already bought the Craftsy class a few weeks ago, but just hadn't gotten around to watch it. And so while I was waiting on my plane in Cleveland, I started watching it yesterday, and I just want to kiss her and hug her and put her in my pocket because she is so the opposite of the media saying, you must be thin, you must be pretty, you must be this. And she's like, you're perfect just the way that you are. We'll help you make you feel like you're perfect,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what size you are.
We'll find some clothes that fit you the way that they need to fit, which is nice.
And I just want to hug her. And I might. Hopefully I'll introduce myself first when I meet her, but I'm stoked to get to take her class and rub it in Laura's face that I get to take her class in person.
It'll be all right.
It will be. But anyway, I'm excited about that. She's teaching 3 different classes. I'm taking like the introductory one, like 10 to 2 on that Saturday.
Cool.
So anyhow, for our contest for next week, Laura's got all the details.
I do. So there is a site called Nimblesticks. And Nimblesticks is, and we've talked about them before, and they've advertised on our sidebar with us before. It is a site that is kind of a combination of Facebook, that aspect of social networking. I'm trying to think of a great way to describe it. And anything that you need to do with knitting or spinning. So Nimblesticks was so sweet. Tina contacted me, and she gave us a mug and a bag. And we're going to be giving these away on the blog. So what you have to do in order to enter is either you need to sign up for Nimblesticks and post your username.
Or if you already have a username.
If you're already part of the site, and you can go ahead and friend me over there. I need to get on there and friend some people. Or you can post what spinning features, because Nimblesticks does have a lot of spinning features. It's something that's different between them and other knitting social network sites. Yep. They would like to know what additional spinning features you might like to see, or if you're not a member of their site, what spinning features just in general you would like to see. So that contest will run on the blog. It will run through, let me look up my calendar.
The next time we record.
Yep, which is probably going to be Tuesday. It is going to be Tuesday because my plane gets in at like midnight Monday night.
Yeah, it's going to be Tuesday.
I love it when I don't book my own travel. So that's going to be Tuesday the 23rd. So we'll close that contest on the 23rd. So
just as a further reinforcement, the entry for the contest is on the TheKnitGirll's blog, TheKnitGirlls with 3 L's.com.
And that's where you can find our show notes every week.
Yep.
So super exciting. We do have a giveaway for this week. What it is it's going to be when I get to it. So it's not going to be sent out right away. But the See No Further colorway of Huckleberry Knits, and I will spin it for you. And it will become yours, and we'll talk about how you want it spun. I'll even do that. I got an email from her today explaining the name of this. So it's See No Further, and she did a whole series of yarns and fibers based on apples. So this is an actual apple colorway. The See No Further apples, which I'm going to go and read about because that was intriguing to me.
I've never heard of that. That's cool.
So I will spin this to the best of my ability.
And so the way that we had people enter this contest was to list their favorite Knit Girls moment. And what it has become apparent to both of us is that neither of us are the star of this show. My dog is.
With Humberto as a sidekick every once in a while.
People love animals, and that's fine. He loves everybody, don't you?
There were some moments that I had forgotten that had actually occurred. Like someone today posted, what was it? Something that I did that I had when I was convincing Ivy to ask you repeatedly, were you done yet with your knitting? I had totally forgotten that I had done that.
Things that I wish that I could forget, dropping Diane's iPad in front of several thousand people to remind me that I did that.
Or the Even Star Shawl dropping of Sarah's Even Star Shawl.
Yeah, which apparently many people were like,
That was pretty much our reaction.
Yeah. So mostly it was us doing stupid stuff, which you guys made you laugh. And a lot of people really liked the group ones where we had like Rhinebeck when we had people pop on, or Diane's when we had people,
or Stacy's.
Yeah, it was, people really enjoy when we bring the folks in our life into their lives, which I think is cool. It's all about community.
Very neat.
So I had a great time reading through that stuff. You guys
loved it.
Way too nice to us. But we appreciate it. So, all right, so what are our numbers? I know we need to do between 2 and 3 something.
And I can't believe we had over 300 people enter. 315. That's so cool.
All right, so between 2 and 315. I just want to show you guys I have not pushed the button yet, and I'm going to push the button.
Push that button. Push it hard.
It's number 203, which is going to be on page 9.
I'm glad you're here to tell me that. Oh, it was almost my sister. Good. It's not. It's Patchwork Bumblebee.
Oh, cool.
She says that she loves the deer hat that Laura made Leslie right before she moved.
I love that. It's actually right back here somewhere.
The ridiculousness of that.
I love it.
There were so many good comments, though. Oh!
I think that this actually deserves a second drawing, and I have a prize. So pick another. Oh,
okay. You need to pick another one. That hat looks freaking adorable on you. I don't know that I've seen it on you before.
Don't be jealous. I'm bringing sexy back, and it's coming with this. I totally forgot to wear it to Rhinebeck. I don't know how I forgot to wear this to Rhinebeck.
Seriously.
Okay, anyway.
Rhinebeck this year. Deer hats.
Generate another one. This one's 274. So that'll be page 11. You
think page 11? Yep.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I doubt you. You're so good at the math. Sandra Rum. Very difficult to choose, but she will go with the sweater debate between the two of us.
Yeah, where I was totally wrong, but sticking to my guns. All right, so Sandra, you won a skein of my hand spun.
Wow.
This is Loop in the Ocean Breeze colorway.
Why you gotta be one-upping me?
I just went through my stuff and I was like, I want to give away something too. So this is a Navajo ply, so it's a 3-ply and it is a gradient.
It's very pretty.
Sandra, you PM me your address. I will get this out to you at some point in the future.
And Patchwork Bumblebee, you need to PM me and we'll talk about how you want your fiber spun.
I really love the idea of us giving stuff away for 3 months because A, making other people happy makes me happy. B, things leave my home. Yay! So, I love my hat.
It's very cute. I'm going to have to make another one of those. It came out really nice.
In like some wire to keep this ear up. This one's totally fine, but this one wants to be like, meh. I'm going to put some wire in there. It's a lazy ear.
I was like, you do realize that I made that. So something's
it's just like the right side is at attention and the left side is like,
something's going to be a little bit crooked. That's like the Waldorf dolls. I really want to buy my niece a Waldorf doll about this one person, but they're over $200. And someone was like, couldn't you make that? And I was like, if one eye wanted to be here and one eye wanted to be here, and there might be a mouth in the middle, it'd be like the Goonies Waldorf doll. But
Baby Ruth? Yeah.
Anyway.
Now that we're wildly off topic.
Seriously. What else is new?
Again, just want to thank people for posting in the favorite moment thread. It really just made me laugh, and I needed it this week. So thank you very much for that. And I hope this has given you a laugh.
I like how you have it up on one side. Like your brim's up on...
I flipped it up. There you go. Because it was covering my eyes. So anyway... we'll be late again next week because Laura has her conference. So don't expect anything until at the earliest Tuesday night, probably Wednesday morning.
Don't expect anything in general, and you'll be pleasantly surprised.
There you go. That's the way it works. And you guys have a wonderful week, and that's all I got.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.